I welcome you to this channel. And the Lord is going to fight his battle. I will call it the day of the Lord. And the area of the battle will be around Jerusalem. Jerusalem in prophecy is the focus of the main battle of the Lord, because the Lord will gather nations together in the valley of Jehoshaphat and deal with them. A time will come where the Lord will gather nations, those nations that go against Jerusalem. The Lord will gather them to battle, and one of those battles, I will call it the Battle of Armageddon. Something is going to happen, and the Lord is going to use some plagues to destroy the nations that gather against him, the Battle of Armageddon. And we see the prophet Zechariah talk about this battle in Zechariah chapter 14 verse 12. I have to let you know that the Lord reveals so many things about his word, his prophecies to people. And I had a vision about what is happening during the battle that the prophet Zechariah is talking about in Zechariah chapter 14 verse 12. And so I will take you to April 13, 2007. April 13, 2007, where I had a vision. In the vision, I was standing, and as I was standing, I saw the skin of my body peeling off. I saw the skin of my body peeling off, and I also saw worms coming from my body. In other words, my body was rotting. I was standing, but all of a sudden the skin of my body was peeling off, and worms began coming from my body. So when I woke up from the vision, I was disturbed because I thought the Lord was going to curse me. I thought I was going to suffer from a disease. I thought I had done something wrong. But later on, when I grew in the word of the Lord, I realized that the Lord was using the vision to tell me what is going to happen in the future. And during my research, I realized that a spectacle, a situation where people's skin will peel off and worm will come from their body, it will come as a plague during the Battle of Armageddon. So during the Battle of Armageddon, the armies of Lucifer will gather themselves to fight the armies of the living God, and the Lord will teach them a lesson. So if you read Zechariah chapter 14 verse 12, where nations gather against Jerusalem, the Lord will use 3 plagues. One of them will result in the condition: their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouths. So the armies of Lucifer who gather against the armies of the living God, they will be smitten with a plague where their flesh will consume away while they stand on their feet, and their eyes shall consume away from the holes, and their tongues shall consume away from their mouths. And something else will happen. The Lord will cause confusion to to come within the armies of Lucifer. So they will be fighting among themselves. There will be confusion within the armies of Lucifer. So there will be friendly fire from the armies of Lucifer. The Lord will cause so many confusion in the armies of Lucifer, the Battle of Armageddon, that the armies of Lucifer will start killing one another. And the Lord is also saying that there will be great tumult from the Lord, and they will destroy one another. If you read Zechariah chapter 14 verse 12, it also states that Judah will fight and destroy many wealth of the nations that will be gathered in the battle. And they will divide the spoils in the midst of Judah. And so in the Battle of Armageddon, Judah is going to fight. And so if you are a son of Jacob, be very happy, because you will be fighting against the armies of Lucifer. And who else will be there? The Lion of Judah will be there. So when the prophet Zechariah says in Zechariah chapter 14 verse 12 that Judah will also fight, it means that the Lion of Judah will be there. He will be in full battle mode, full battle regalia. And so the vision I had on April the 13th, 2007, where the flesh from my body was peeling off and worms were coming from my body, is a symbolic revelation of what is going to happen during the Battle of Armageddon, where the Lord God will inflict Lucifer, the lunatic, and his army with a plague, where the flesh of the armies of Lucifer will consume from their bodies as they stand. Their tongues will come from their mouth. Their eyes will peel off from their heads, their faces, and confusion will erupt within the army. They will be fighting among themselves, and Judah will fight. So I believe and suspect that the children of Jacob, Judah, who are scattered over the world, at that time you will have been regathered by the Messiah, and you will fight, and you will see the division or the wealth of nations being given to you, because the Lord will destroy their properties, and in the battlefield the wealth that they have will be divided, and Judah will be in battle, and the Lion of Judah will be in battle. In the same way, the Lion of Judah will be in battle, based on Isaiah 11 verse 11, where the Lion of Judah regathers the scattered of the children of Judah from all the four corners to which they were scattered. And so the Lord reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophet, and the plague that is going to happen during the Battle of Armageddon will involve people's skin peeling off from their body as they stand on their feet. When I had this vision on April the 13th, 2007, I didn't know how come my skin was peeling off and worms was coming from my body. I had not done anything wrong. I was not sick. But later I realized that the Lord was showing me, using my own body, what he's going to do to his enemies during the Battle of Armageddon. Exodus chapter 14 verse 13. The Egyptians that you see today, you will see them no more. And even when they regroup and regather to engage in battle with the Lord, the Lord will smite them with a plague where their flesh will consume from their bodies, and their eyes will come from their bodies, and their tongues will consume from their mouths, consistent with the prophecy in Zechariah chapter 14 verse 12. Thank you for this powerful revelation.